Real simple question today. Have you ever had a full body strength and conditioning analysis? Have you had someone look at your ranges of motion through your major joints? Have you had someone look at the way you perform basic exercises like a bodyweight squat, single leg squat, look at the way you jump, the way you land, the way you perform a pull-up? The reason I ask is because it can be the very thing that you need to see and to hear and to find out about yourself that will solve so many issues. For as long as I've been in this industry, I've always had this prerequisite where whoever I work with, no matter where they are in the world, no matter what their sport is, no matter how experienced they are, never assume. Never assume that they have good proprioception, good balance, they've got good symmetry, that they are strong and conditioned in all the major muscle groups, that they have adequate strength through their core, their glutes, their lower back, their upper body, lower body. Because lo and behold, we all have our areas of weakness based on our sporting background, our injury history. That pre-screening analysis, understanding those fundamental levels of strength and conditioning will tell us so much about why someone is struggling to see results in their run, their ride, their swim, whether they're struggling with a specific type of injury. If I look at someone and we film it and we go through and we evaluate the fact that they struggle to land on that left leg confidently, they have probably 25% less strength and conditioning in terms of power, extension through the hip, through that left hamstring. They also can't really balance and coordinate on that left foot very well. And then we're seeing some form of imbalance, some injury through the hip, through the knee on one side or another. It's going to start to paint a picture that we have got work to do. These imbalances are potentially creating some form of overcompensation through that said area. And even though that pain is in an opposite limb, there is an imbalance that the body is shifting because of these weaknesses. Lo and behold, when we start to work on developing those areas of weakness, we start improving the strength and conditioning of that left-hand side, that left chain, the body naturally starts to fall in line. How we go about doing that, the prescription of exercises, the amount of how many sets, reps, etc. That's always going to be based upon the person's experience, the level of comfort, their understanding around the exercise they need to be performing. That's where the accountability piece comes in. Obviously, we want to look, that's why we prescribe the way we do. But without that analysis, you're just flying by the seat of your pants. You're just hoping that the exercises that you're doing, the sessions that you're doing, are gonna keep you right, keep you on track, and that you're not going to suddenly pull up with random injuries. You're not going to hit these plateaus, because by having this level of analysis on a periodic basis every 12 weeks, we roughly do it every couple of months, it gives us an opportunity to get in there, see that we're making improvements because we know what that baseline was and now what it is now. But also you're able to go, right, okay, that's going pretty well. We can just maintain that. What else do we need to be looking at? What else do we want? Do we want more power through the upper body? Do we want more range of motion through the hips? Do we want more development of the glutes and hamstrings so we can have more power through the pedals? But if you don't have that level of analysis, that analytical view, you're never going to have that level of insight. So my challenge to you is, if you've never experienced it, and it needs to be way beyond standing up and down in front of a physio. It needs to be way more than just having some manual therapy or, a run gait analysis at your local shoe shop. There's no depth to that. There's no understanding. There's no interaction. You're not breaking you down physiologically step by step. They're not looking at your landing mechanics, your plyometrics. They're not looking at all those other key major muscle groups that are all going to work together. You want the full comprehensive picture. Mobility, bodyweight strength, maximal strength. What does your body look like under maximal loads? Doesn't have to be in a gym environment. It could be the fact that what do you look like under stress, under high intensities, under speed. That is going to start to unpack and give us that level of analysis that gives us that certainty as to what we need to work on to help you through whatever you're working with. Pre-screening, analysis, how often you're doing that, how often you're giving yourself an opportunity to reflect, review, evaluate. Massively important, guys. And I think there is no doubt you would get so much benefit from having this type of observation on yourself, because then these behaviors you can repeat. We've worked with hundreds of people over the years, and they have gone away, and I know they're doing it still because they still send me their data. Hey Chris, heads up,
this has been my I did it recently, did this screening, and boom, 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 boom. I jump on the calls with people and they can articulate what their scores are going to be even before we start, because they know what I'm going to be asking of them. But then I can then go, great, that's that. Let's look at this, and this instead. There's always reasons for why potentially you're not seeing the results you want, or potentially why you're struggling with whatever issue you're dealing with, because you're not having this level of attention and care and consideration put into your programming. That's what it's about. All right, guys, speak soon.